Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to a Let's Play for EU4. I am Red Bastard, and we are playing as Yarkand. In a campaign that I'm informally entitling Yar-can-do Attitude. And something occurred to me that I should mention. I usually have been recording things and doing all my online interactions, hangouts, all that sort of stuff, using my headphones with the mic built in, but it did have a feedback loop. And I've switched to using my webcam's microphone, but I haven't entirely gotten used to doing that, so whenever I do something like cough or sneeze on the stream, I've still been hitting the mute button on my microphone that I'm using still for the headphones. So, you guys have probably been hearing all that, and sorry about that. I'm going to try getting into the habit of actually muting those so you don't, hear my allergies giving us all sorts of annoying noises into the stream. Now on to more important matters. After that apology, we are getting back into our war effort with Yarkand. And so far, we've kept very respectable tech parity, considering that we are a Chinese tech nation and we haven't gone into any tech groups like, or idea groups like Innovative, and we haven't westernized. So that's good. We now have an army that is about to be 46,000 men once our 2 regiments have finished recruiting. And that does mean that we have an army that is actually larger than Ming's army for the first time. They do have a much larger force limit, so they might grow their forces much larger than ours, but for now, we do have the upper hand. I'm trying to plan out what our next move should be. I don't think we're quite in a position to be able to challenge Muscovy directly. We don't have favors with the Ottomans, so we would have to split our territorial expansion with them by awarding them some provinces, if they would even join. And Muscovy is still pretty tough. I would like to wait until they've fallen a little bit behind on tech as a consequence of their pretty poor regent relative to our own very good and very young ruler. I'd also like to see them get involved with a war, potentially in support of Sweden, or if they simply go to war with Poland and Lithuania. When that happens, which something of the sort will happen for too long, then we can turn on them and hopefully simply use favors with the Ottomans to bring them in. Regardless, we do need to expand. It would be very boring if we just sit around, so I'm thinking about going into Manchuria. Now this will put us at odds with Korea, our ally, most likely, but I think if we trash somebody like Yaren and then smack Korea around, we could force them to break their alliance with Ming, leave them relatively isolated, rob them, and then repeat this process with Korchin, potentially breaking Korea a little bit more, forcing them to release some stuff, or this time actually taking territory from them. So that's probably going to be our next move, is planning out and executing some sort of invasion of the Manchurian region. And we're going to start up and see how this goes. really don't like having to beat up on Kievan separatists, as I wish them all kinds of luck within the Timurids. But if they insist upon crossing into our country, we are going to have to punish them. Now we've got the points to be able to get military tech 12, as we are at. Okay, I was going to say we should wait for it. And I think actually we are going to ultimately wait for it. So we are going to spend these points by getting just a little bit of development. And we'll just keep checking every couple months. Definitely don't want to waste any points here. But we also don't want to pay a full price. I like investing in this province, as that increases our opportunity to bump up the gold production. And now that we've brought our inflation under control for the most part, we can rely a little bit more heavily on gold again. And we've got ladies diplomats, so I'm going to see what would happen were we to invade somebody guaranteed by Korea. Well, it looks like all of our claims there have expired. So we're going to try renewing those. And we might as well get another general. Not great, but he does have a little bit of siege. And that's something that could come to help us quite a bit. We can make one more troop. I think we will get one more colonial troop. And Muscovy is certainly trying to annoy us. Free stability, I like it. And we've hit our cap again. I guess we could try culturally converting some provinces to get more value out of them at some point, but I'm not sure that we'll ever want to do that. Here's where we're getting good value. So Kuka again would be a solid choice. This is a little bit cheaper than most places, so that's where we'll invest it. I want to check back every month, so we're going to just do another one here. $79 points. 70. We'll invest in this one. Lost our advisor. And I think the unrest guy is probably our best shot right now. I don't see that we really need this next level of diplomatic technology anytime soon, as it's not contributing in any way to our corruption, and we don't really rely on colonial range at the moment, so we're just simply going to progress to the next idea. Getting some more diplomatic reputation would be nice. And we're just waiting for these spy networks to grow large enough, fabricate some claims, and then we'll take an assessment of the Manchuria-Korea situation. So a new colony up here is going to be producing fur for us. It's no big surprise. And still, there's no movement by Muscovy towards getting any sort of ideas that will give them colonists yet. Eventually they'll get there. But we'll do our best to close them off. And we're going to top off relations with all of our allies. Ensure that if we get into a defensive, ugly war, we won't be fighting it alone. That province is as developed as we can get it in manpower for the moment. This rebel faction is progressing pretty quickly. We could send some troops over there, although I'd really like to be sending them east. And our truce with Timurids is going to last another 6 years. That's unfortunate. And Caracayonlo another 2 years. So let's get some claims. And that's the only border province we have, so that's all we need to claim. And I'm getting suggestions from the cat. This is cat number 2 making suggestions, but she is not very good at this game. So we're going to ignore her feedback. And we do have the option of trying to get our admin tech up. This will help out in corruption. We have none at present. And we're really not going to be able to avoid getting it. So I think I'm going to just try to blitz through these administrative ideas as quickly as possible, and then catch up through neighbor bonuses and our civil service right here. Plus it'll be nice to get the additional states, and more chances of good advisors. So our diplo power is stronger than it's been. And Kitty is very talkative. Alright, pushing onward, we've got a free diplomat, so we're going to start fabricating again on Kara, and prepare in a couple of years to see if we can take the rest of Tabaristan and be closer to our Ottoman allies. Getting a border with them should not be problematic, as we do share the Sunni faith, so that's nice. They don't have any aspirations at present for the Persian region, so that shouldn't be an issue either. And looking at them, they don't have any surprises that they're offering here, haven't westernized, playing a very straightforward Ottoman game, except they are befriending Iraq rather than expanding there, and that isn't always the case. They're playing a little passive in the Balkans, leaving Bosnia alone, and I don't quite see why that's the case. Shia Zealots here at 90%. So we'll simply deal with them, and then shift our troops to the east. And we're about to hit our cap again on military power. So I'm hoping that with the start of this new year, somebody will be able to tack up and give us that neighbor bonus. Okay, I really don't like these two mission choices, because we would have to take this province here, and the costs associated with that effort would outweigh the benefits. Now, if Muscovy does get distracted in another war, another significant war, I would happily attack them. Here we got a little bit of attrition. Korea does have a sizable force on that border. But our rebel faction is ticking downward. And that did work out, so we're going to tech up. Got our banner infantry, and we can make 2,000 more troops. And I think we'll get just a little bit more infantry. And after that, try to expand our artillery. So I'm not sure which target here. It looks like Korchin would be the better choice, because if we fight Korchin, then we'll fight Korchin and Korea. But if we fight Yar-can, we would fight Yar-can, Korchin, and Korea. So we'll attack Korchin, take what we can, beat up Korea, core things, attack Yar-can, and repeat the process. We could become the Defender of the Faith, which is nice. And I'm not going to take it at present, but I do appreciate the fact that we have the funds set aside that we could do something like that. Speaking of estates, we haven't asked them for anything in a while, so we're going to do so. And we'll get a second colonist here. $4,000, $1,000. So just going to take one of these guys, send them north. Okay. We're going to send it there. So I do like that center of trade. We don't need diplomats too much, so we're simply going to leave that guy there. Okay, that truce ended. So I have to decide which war effort I'm going to focus on. So Karkay only has 6,000 troops. Tabaristan can bring that total up to 10. And they have no allies. They do have Shamar, who's down here as a vassal. Could probably bring another 6 or something. 5,000. So that is easy. We could do that with half of our army. For some reason, are going through wastelands. So I think we'd better go after Yaren here. And then turn on Kara. And we're going to be aided by the fact that Korea has only military tech 11 versus our 12. Yaren has 10, Korchin has 10, and Zhangzhou has 10. We'll probably hit 12. So we're going to core that province, and we're done here. So we're going to get this one. Would like to close this one off as well. I'm clearly moving things around too much and changing my mind. We're supposed to be going for Korchin. So we'll do that as soon as our troops get into place. Okay, our Ulama wants some more territory. And I think we could give them Golistan. Nope, apparently we can't. This province has 77%. It's not worth very much, but we'll get a little bit more tax out of it. And Ulama is happy. At the first of the month, we're going to start our engines. So Korea is choosing the wrong side in this war, and we're going to make them pay for it. Our allies are not coming in, but we don't need them. And what can we expect out of Korea? Oh, Korea has low prestige. They're behind us in tech. They have taken a few steps into quality. And their ruler, if they put him in charge of their army, will be a pretty good general. Now their ideas give them simply tech cost at this point, so we can guess that when their army is stacked up in that 29 stack, they will be able to perform well. But if we can get them in smaller numbers, we should be able to beat them on a troop-by-troop basis. Okay, we can go back into Setsun and try to wipe out this army. I think we're going to move on to the fort and Relaya. And Iraq is going for Timurids. And Ming, instead of trying to attack us, now that we don't have Korea as an ally, has decided to push south into this province. And now we have the option of conquering Yar-can next. That's a much better idea. It will help us recover from any manpower we do expend. The the Korean army is trying to move up into this province, so we're going to try meeting them there. Ooh, they moved much more quickly than I expected, shifting course. Now we are not going to be able to hit them there before this battle ends, so we're going to have to pull back. They're going to chase us. So let's just test how good their troops are.